Dear friends, welcome to the first session of Object-Oriented Programming with Java. And in today's session, we will be discussing about the initial concepts related to Java, how it was born, what are the different features, and how it is implemented in different applications. And slowly we will be discussing about the other related concepts. Okay, so let us get started. So the first basic question is, what is Java? So when we are talking about Java, essentially we have to understand that it is a programming language and a platform. When we are talking about a platform, it is any hardware or software environment in which a program runs. And since Java has a runtime environment where the programs run and also an API, we can call it as a platform. We have to understand that Java is a very high level, robust, object oriented and a secure programming language. It was initially developed by Sun Microsystems by James Gosling and his team, which is also known as Green Team, in the year 1995. Okay, Sun Microsystems basically now is a subsidiary of Oracle, but initially it was an independent company. So before Java, its original name was Oak, but since Oak was already a registered company, hence it was replaced using Java, the name Java. So these are some of the applications in which Java can be used. The first common application are the desktop applications such as Acrobat Reader, Media Player, Antivirus, etc. We can also use Java in web applications. This is also a wide category of application of Java. Okay, some of them can be seen in irctc.co.in, java, tpoint.com, etc. So these are some of the websites which are built with Java and they are very robust in nature. We have also enterprise applications such as banking applications. Now Java is used in banking applications because banking applications needs a very robust framework since it deals with real-time data. Hence, Java has that particular facility or that feature which provides robustness and security. Hence, Java is used in this kind of applications. We also use Java in mobile-based applications, various embedded systems like washing machines, refrigerators, air conditioners, etc. We also have smart cards which are developed using Java. Okay, then we have robotics oriented applications. Okay, different types of robotic arms, different types of robotic applications or robotic systems, they use Java language. Okay, Java programming language in as a backend. Okay, and the last but one of the most important sectors where Java is used are the games. Maybe it might be online games or it might be your mobile games. So these are just some of the applications where Java could be used. However, Java has a wide variety of applications all throughout the market as well as all throughout your homes. Now talking about the different types of Java applications, so this Java applications can be broadly categorized into standalone applications, web applications, enterprise applications and mobile applications. So a glimpse of it we have already seen in our previous slide. However, here we will be talking in details about standalone applications. So these are just the desktop applications or window based applications which could be used in different types of devices. Okay, they are the traditional softwares which we use. And suppose let us take the example of your Acrobat Reader or your Media Player. So they definitely have a window initially. When you click onto it, a window pops out. There we have a lot of labels, buttons, check boxes where you can give your user inputs, and based on that the media starts playing. So this abstract window toolkit or AWT and Swing, they are used basically for developing these kind of window based applications. Okay, so these standalone applications are very traditional softwares which we install in our systems. Web application basically are those type of applications which run on the server side and creates dynamic pages which keeps on changing based on the user requests. Okay, so currently servlets, JSP, struts, Spring, Hibernate, JSF, etc. So these are the technologies which are used for creating the web applications in Java. Okay, so basically all types of websites which are built in Java falls under this category. The next type of Java application is the enterprise application. So these applications we have already discussed. They are the banking applications which needs a very high level of security, load balancing and clustering, because it deals with real-time data. Okay, enterprise Java beans or EJBs in short form that they are called is used for creating these enterprise applications. We also have mobile applications which is used to create mobile devices and is which is used for creating the mobile applications in mobile devices, and currently Android and Java ME are used for creating mobile applications. So all your mobile phones have these Java as a backend. All your Android mobile phones generally have this Java as a backend. However, Kotlin, which is a C++ oriented programming style, that is also been introduced in your Android mobile phones. However, most commonly used backend for your Android devices is the Java programming language and also Java ME, and they are used to create the mobile applications. Okay, now there are 4 different platforms or editions of Java. So since we are talking about Java as a platform, we also have to categorize this particular platform. So first of all, we have the standard edition, and this standard edition of the platform consists of various APIs like java.lang, .io, .net, .util, .sql, .math, etc. So these APIs are used in order to develop different types of programs. Okay, and these programs are based on object-oriented programming paradigm, string, regex, exceptions, inner classes, multi-threading, IO stream, networking, AWT, swing, reflection, collection, etc. So most of the course related topics we will be sticking to this Java standard edition. Okay, and we will also be discussing about the advanced editions of Java like Java Enterprise editions, FX, as well as the micro editions, but we will not be discussing into details about those editions. We will be primarily sticking our discussion or keeping our discussion to Java standard edition only. The next edition that we have is the Java Enterprise edition. So this basically is a platform which is mainly used to develop web and enterprise applications, and it is built on top of the Java standard edition platform. So we have a standard edition platform here, and on top of this we will have this enterprise Java edition. Okay, so we will have this enterprise applications built on top of these Java standard applications or standard edition. So it includes topics like servlets, JSP, web services, enterprise Java beans, Java persistence, API, etc. Okay, so we will also be talking about some portion of it, but not entirely. The next we have is Java micro edition, and this micro platform is used so this micro platform is basically dedicated to the mobile applications. So when we are talking about mobile applications, essentially we mean that some of the games, mobile games, or some of the standalone applications, or it might also be the Android operating system itself, okay, or Android application itself. So those are micro edition concepts of Java or micro edition applications of Java. And the fourth important platform is Java FX, which is used to develop rich internet applications, and it is a lightweight user interface API. So basically with this we will be this edition will be discontinued after 2022 as already declared by the Oracle team. However, it is still into use as of now, so we will be discussing some portion of it as well in our subsequent sessions. Okay. Now, talking about history of Java, as already mentioned, it was originally developed for television by the Green team or the Java team. So, but whatever they developed at that time, it was highly advanced, which was included in set top boxes and televisions, etc. So this green team included people like James Gosling, Mike Sheridan, and Patrick Norton, and they initiated the concept of Java language project in June 1991. Okay, so green team, they initiated this concept. However, the real product was developed by 1995 by James Gosling, and they called it as the Green Talk. Okay, so initially that green team developed this Green Talk, and this Green Talk had this extension of .gt. Okay, so later on this Green Talk got converted into Java, and it was suited well for internet programming and was incorporated by Netscape. Okay, and as already mentioned in my first slide, James Gosling is known to be the father of Java. Okay, so after this Green Talk was developed, it was called Oak. Okay, the Green Project, these three people named it as Green Project. um, and they named it this green project was named as Oak. Now, why they named it Oak was because it is a symbol of strength in US, France, Germany, etc. So these countries, they considered Oak as a symbol of strength, and hence, since Java was a very, very strong language at that point of time, they called it Oak. However, they renamed this Oak into Java in 1995. Now, there is an interesting concept why it was named Java. Okay, first of all, they wanted to develop something which had the essence of technology, revolutionary, dynamic, lively, cool, unique, and easy to spell and fun to say name. However, they came out with a lot of options related to the name, but after a lot of discussion, they came up with the name as Java, because Gosling, he wanted to name it a little different. I mean, different from others. So while he was sipping coffee in a nearby coffee house, he thought that he could name it Java, because Java is an island in Indonesia which is famous for production of coffee beans. And hence, while having coffee, Gosling came up with that idea that he can name the programming language as Java as well. Silk was another optional name. However, they considered Java to be a more classy name for that particular project. So we also have to remember that Java is not just an acronym, but it is a name. It does not have any full form. It's just a name. And the first version, Java 1 JDK 1.0 or 1.0, was released in January 23, 1996. Okay, so 1995 it was successfully launched, and 96 the first version was released. First operable or standard or stable version was released. So if we look at the Java versions, it was the first one was alpha and beta in 1995, followed by the first launch in 1996, and from there on, right, currently we are in this particular point where Java Standard Edition 16 has already been launched, and we can find it in the Oracle website. Okay, now 17 is due in September, and 18 will be released by March 2022. So after this particular point, when SE8 was launched, there is a particular pattern which they have followed. Okay, so all the even versions like 10, 12, 14, 16, so they are launched in March, and all the odd versions of this particular language or platform, they would be launched in September. So March and September basically are the two different months where different editions are launched. Okay, currently we are, if we go to the Oracle website, we will find SE16. Okay, so now this is September, so we will soon be witnessing SE17 to be launched. I mean, very, very soon I think SE17 would be launched. Okay, so we just have to go and check the Oracle website. Alright, now talking about the features of Java. Java is object oriented, very simple, secured, platform independent, robust, portable, architecture neutral, that is platform independent, okay, dynamic, interpreted, high performance, multi-threaded, and distributed programming language. So all of this we will take it one by one in our subsequent sessions, but as of today we will just remember these names, basically why that it is simple, it is object oriented. Okay, now if we're talking about this particular point, so Java is very simple because this entire syntax is based on C++. So if you already have a knowledge about C++, it would be very easy for you to understand the syntax of Java programming language also. Okay, it has removed various complicated and rarely used features like explicit pointers, operator overloading, etc. So these kind of concepts do not exist in Java, and hence it makes it simpler for us to use this programming language, and there is no need to remove unreferenced objects. This is one of the very vital points about this programming language, because there is already an automatic garbage collection in Java. So this makes this language very simple, and it deals with various OOP concepts, object oriented concepts. We will do this in our theory sessions. So like it deals with objects, classes, inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, encapsulation. So these things, they are object oriented paradigm, and Java is used in order to do this. So the next point that we will discuss is portability. So Java is portable because it facilitates us to carry the Java bytecode to any platform, and it will not require any implementation. So these are just 3 points that we have discussed. More features we will be discussing in our subsequent sessions, so we don't have to worry about it. Okay, so talking about the final discussion for today, which is the difference between procedural programming and object oriented programming. So procedure oriented programming, or procedural programming as we say, we have already done in our C programming classes or C programming sessions. So they follow a definite procedure. So in a procedure oriented programming, a program is divided into small parts which is known as functions. In other hand, in object oriented programming, these small parts are called as objects. So it is more kind of handling objects rather than functions. And in procedure programming, we strictly follow a top down approach. Okay, in object oriented programming we follow a bottom up approach. There is no access specifier in the procedural type of programming. However, 3 different types of access specifiers are commonly used in object oriented programming, which is the private, public, and protected. We also have different other access specifiers. We will be discussing as and when we come across them. Adding new data and function is not easy in a procedure oriented programming. Adding a new data and function is very easy in an object oriented programming. Okay, then procedural programming does not have any proper way of hiding the data, so it is very less secure as compared to object oriented programming, which is more secure because it provides us data hiding. In procedural programming, overloading is not possible. Overloading is possible in object oriented programming. In procedural programming, function is more important than data. Okay, here data is more important than function. So whenever we have an approach which is data centric or data oriented, we have much more liberty in working with that particular data. However, in your function oriented programming or procedural programming, much more dependency is there over the function, and it does not expose the data to us to work with. So this is not a very easy way out in handling different programs. Okay, so object oriented programming is much preferred when it comes to working with the data as objects. Okay, Procedural programming is based on unreal world. That means anything imaginative can be done using your procedural oriented programming. However, in object oriented programming, it is based on real world, and this real world is mapped with objects. Okay, so in our theory sessions or in our next video, if we see, we will talk about all of these points in details. Okay, so that it becomes easier and crystal clear for us to understand what object oriented paradigm is all about. They strictly deals with objects, classes, methods, and different types of other object oriented paradigms like inheritance, polymorphism, data abstractions, encapsulations. So all of these will help us to understand object oriented programming style in a better way. So this is all for this session. So we will again continue about discussing about this object oriented programming style in a much more detailed manner in our subsequent sessions. Okay, thank you.